Ethan Cole had lived alone on the far edge of Dust Valley for the last 7 years, his ranch stretching across miles of quiet land where the only sounds were cattle, wind, and the whisper of memories he wished he could forget. Life had taught him that people leave, storms arrive uninvited, and silence is sometimes the only companion a man can truly trust. But all of that changed one cold evening when he returned from checking the fences and found 2 tiny figures, trembling near his barn, little twin girls, no more than 5 years old, huddled together beneath a broken wagon tarp. Their shoes were wet, their dresses torn, and their cheeks streaked with dirt and tears. Ethan froze, stunned by the sight. The twins looked up at him with identical, terrified eyes, and before he could speak, one whispered, "Mister, please don't send us away." Ethan's heart, toughened by years of loneliness, cracked open in a single second. He knelt slowly so he wouldn't scare them and asked what happened. The twins, Lily and Lila, told him their horse had run off. Their wagon wheel had snapped, and their mama had gone for help but never returned. They waited and waited until the sun went down and fear swallowed their bravery. Ethan didn't waste another moment. He carried them inside the warm ranch house, wrapped them in blankets, cooked them soup even though he barely cooked for himself, and sat with them until their trembling stopped. Watching them fall asleep on his couch, arms wrapped around each other, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: purpose. The next morning he saddled his horse at dawn and rode out searching for their mother. Snowflakes started falling, wind picking up, turning the plains into a swirling blur. Hours passed. No footprints, no sign of a woman in distress, no broken branch or clue. Ethan clenched his teeth, knowing a storm was coming, knowing searching might kill him. But leaving her out there? Impossible. When the wind grew too violent to see, he finally turned back, half frozen, angry at the heavens for making him bring bad news to the little girls. But when he walked inside, expecting tears, he instead found the twins brushing his horse, blanket and giggling like the ranch already belonged to them. Ethan stood there soaking wet, heart softening as Lily said, "Mr. Ranchman, can we stay with you until Mama comes back?" Something changed inside him then. The house felt less empty, the air less cold. Over the day, the twins made drawings on torn paper bags, followed him around the barn asking 1,000 questions, and fell asleep again on his couch like they trusted him with their whole world. Ethan couldn't explain it, but the silence that once haunted him now felt warm. As night returned, he tucked them in and promised, "I'll find your mama. I swear it." Yet while staring at the moon that night, Ethan felt a strange fear. What if their mother never returned? What if the twins were meant to stay, only to be taken away again when some sheriff or judge arrived? And why did he feel protective of them so quickly? Like they were the missing piece of a life he once imagined having but lost. As he fed the fire, Lily sleepily whispered, "You're a good man." 3 small words, but they echoed through his lonely home like a promise. For the first time in years, Ethan prayed not for himself, but for those 2 little angels trusting him with their tiny lives. And to all viewers listening to this story, if you want to know what happened next, how fate brought the mother into the picture, and how everything changed in a single sunrise, make sure the next morning, the ranch was unusually quiet, the kind of silence that comes before something life-changing. Ethan was frying eggs for the twins when he suddenly heard frantic hoofbeats racing toward the property. His body stiffened. No rider came like that unless they were desperate or in danger. He stepped onto the porch just as a woman practically fell off her horse, trembling, snow still clinging to her hair and lashes. Her voice cracked as she gasped, "Please, have you seen 2 little girls?" "Twins? My babies. I lost them in the storm." She didn't even finish the sentence because from inside the house 2 tiny voices screamed, "Mama!" Lily and Lila ran out with such force that they threw themselves into her arms, knocking her to her knees in the dirt. The woman, Amelia Hart, grabbed her daughters and held them as if she feared they would vanish the moment she blinked. She kissed their faces again and again, sobbing and laughing at the same time, whispering prayers and thank yous that broke even Ethan's hardened heart. When she finally looked up at him, her eyes were filled with gratitude so powerful it nearly brought him to tears. Ethan helped her stand and guided her inside, where the warmth, the fire, and the smell of breakfast washed over her exhaustion. The twins excitedly told her everything, how Ethan found them, warmed them, fed them, searched for her in the storm, and slept on the chair beside them just to make sure they weren't scared. Amelia listened with her hand over her heart, eyes shimmering every time she looked at the man who had saved her daughters. As she drank the tea he made, she studied him quietly, the gentle way he spoke to the girls, the way he fixed Lila's messy braid, even though he clearly had no idea how hair worked, and the way the twins clung to him like he was their guardian angel. Ethan kept trying to act casual, but Amelia noticed everything, the loneliness in his eyes, the quiet pain he carried, and the softness beneath all that rough rancher strength. When the twins went outside to pet the horses, Amelia finally asked, "Why do you live out here alone?" Ethan didn't look at her at first. He simply said he once wanted a family, once dreamed of laughter in his home, but life had taken those dreams from him. Amelia didn't give him pity. Instead, she gave him a look that felt like warmth in winter, a look that said she understood loss too. She told him she was a widow, traveling to start fresh, trying to be both mother and father to two little girls who deserved more than the world had given them. As the day passed, laughter returned to the ranch. The twins followed Ethan everywhere, helping him feed the cattle, trying to fix fences, and asking 1,000 questions. Amelia watched them, her heart inexplicably drawn to this quiet man who had opened his home without a second thought. Every time their eyes met, something warm passed between them, something gentle yet undeniable. But as the sun dipped behind the hills, reality approached. Amelia saddled her horse, the twins standing beside her with their little faces sad and drooping. It hurt Ethan more than he expected. Lila suddenly ran back and hugged Ethan tightly around the waist. "Will you miss us?" she whispered. Ethan's voice cracked. "More than you know, sweetheart." Then Amelia stepped forward. Her voice trembled slightly as she said, "Ethan, you didn't just save my girls. You saved me too. I thought I was alone in this world." She hesitated, then continued softly, "If it's all right, we'd like to come back. The girls feel safe here. And I felt something here. I haven't felt in years." Her hand brushed his, just a second, just a touch, but it sent a storm of warmth through him. As she mounted her horse, the twins shouted, "Bye, Mr. Ethan. We love you." Their little voices echoed across the ranch as they rode away. Ethan stood there long after they disappeared, the wind lifting the dust around his boots, his heart beating with a new truth. For years, he believed his life was meant to remain silent, empty, forgotten. But those little girls and their brave mother had changed everything in just one day. The ranch no longer felt lonely. It felt alive, filled with a hope he thought he had lost forever.